Well, hey guys, it is John C. Morley here, serial entrepreneur, and it is great to be with you. It's July 1st, in case you didn't know, and yes, that means it's Tuesday, July 1st, 2025, and just a couple days away till they start with the fireworks or the drone displays in the sky. So that is coming up. All right, our country's birthday, basically. Welcome, everyone, to the show. Our master topic for the week, in case you didn't catch it the other day, walking forward with purpose. And the granular topic for today is challenges are temporary, resilience grows through reflection. And that's series 4, show 27, episode number 4. Welcome, everyone. Hey, um, if you're thirsty, hey, why not go get yourself something delicious or some RO water like I have right here? You can get that from the kitchen or wherever. It could be something sweet, something salty, something tart or not, healthy or not. That's totally up to you guys. So feel free to do that and come on back. Of course, after the show, be sure to check out BelieveMeAchieve.com for more of my amazing, of course, inspiring creations. All right, guys, let's just dive right in because I've got a lot to share with you. But I do want to welcome all of those of you that are new here to Inspirations for Your Life. And if you're coming back, well, I would like to extend a warm welcome back to you. It's always great to have friends, colleagues, and associates back on the show. All right, everyone. So welcome to another empowering episode of, yes, the ever popular Inspirations for Your Life podcast. I am not only your host and also a podcast coach, serial entrepreneur, video producer, engineer, and much more. I'm John C. Morley, and I'm a passionate advocate for resilience through reflection. Today's message is one we all need in challenging times, and that is challenges, guys, are temporary. Resilience grows through reflection. No matter what obstacles you're facing, remember that hard times don't last forever, but the strength you build by looking back and learning will serve you for a lifetime. Together, let's unpack how reflection transforms struggle into growth and resilience into a powerful force for your future. Are you ready, everyone? I know I am. Number one, challenges feel overwhelming in the moment, but they pass with time. They really do. They pass with time. But I know it's like they kind of get us all like, flustered, because they drain us, right? We've all faced these moments that have felt endless, where the weight of a challenge seemed too much to bear. But when we just step back, we take a breath, we realize that no storm lasts forever. I've experienced setbacks that once felt all consuming in so many ways, only to look back and to see how they passed, leaving me stronger and, of course, wiser. Reflection reminds us that difficult seasons are just that. They're seasons, right? They come, they test us, and then they move on. Number two, reflection helps us to see the lessons hidden in hardship. When we pause to reflect, we uncover valuable insights that challenge alone don't always reveal. I remember journaling after a business failure and realizing the patterns I had missed in the moment. That reflection turned regret into wisdom. Every hardship holds a lesson, but we have to take the time to look for it. I think that's the magic here tonight. Number three, resilience strengthens when we look back and recognize how far we've come. Looking back at your journey reminds you of the strength you've already shown. I've often reviewed old notes, emails, or photos from tough times and been able to see the growth I couldn't see back then. See, this fuels resilience because it proves we've endured and evolved before and can do it again and again. Every struggle leaves behind wisdom we can apply for the future. Struggles, guys, aren't just trials. They're teachers. When I faced early challenges as an entrepreneur, I didn't realize that each one was shaping my ability to cultivate, inform me, and navigate my future complexities. That wisdom didn't appear instantly. It emerged, well, over time through thoughtful reflection. And it served me in every chapter since and continues to. Number 5, taking time to reflect turns pain into growth. I don't want to say pain. I really want to say discomfort because none of us are in pain, but we are in discomfort. So uh, I think that's important to understand. Okay. All right. So pain or discomfort without reflection can feel like, well, a waste. Pain with reflection becomes fuel for growth. I've seen this in my own life and in those I've mentored. Reflection transforms raw experience into purposeful progress, helping us rise higher and stronger instead of staying stuck in that hurt or in that muck that we don't like. That's the messy middle. Number 6, challenges shape us. But reflection defines how we use that experience. See, challenges alone don't build character. It's how we process them that does. I've faced difficulties that could have made me bitter, but through reflection, I've chosen to let them make me better. Not bitter, but better. Reflection gives us the power to shape our story. Instead of letting the challenge define us, which some people do, we have the choice and free will to actually allow it to expand us and let us grow. Number 7, temporary difficulties can build lasting inner strength if we choose to learn from them. The key is choice, choosing to learn, choosing to grow. When I reflect on my hardest moments, I see that the strength I've gained came not from challenges themselves, but from how I chose to respond. And I've said this before, guys. It's not whether you're going to get good, medium or bad cards. It's how you choose to play them and respond with them. That inner strength stays with us long after the difficulty fades. And this is what other people keep playing in their head, not just you. And that can affect whether good opportunities are going to be coming your way soon or whether there won't be. Because when people see how you handle a situation, they're like, oh, well, look how he handled that. That's not so bad. But when you make this huge debauchery over it, right? It's like, oh, I don't want to be around him. I don't want to be around her. Like, oh my gosh, it's like the person's a nightmare, right? I've even had professors like this where, 1 minute they're a Jekyll, another minute they're a Hyde. And it's like, really? And yes, I've even experienced this at the graduate level, which is kind of scary, but it happens in all walks of life. Number 8, guys, resilience isn't just about bouncing back like the tennis ball. It's about looking back with purpose. See, true resilience isn't only about recovery. It's about intentional reflection. When we look back purposefully or with purpose, we turn these setbacks into, stepping stones. This reflection gives direction, clarity, and renewed strength for what lies ahead. But a lot of people just focus on what they have now and they don't understand that where they are now is because of what they were thinking of yesterday and the days before. Here's the part of the show that, well, I love the whole show, but here's one of my favorite parts of the show. I'm now going to give you basically a personal, let's say, a lesson or story for each point today. And it's my hope that it will solidify, that it will help you reflect, okay? And in so doing, it's going to get you to, well, thoughtfully make a positive change in your life. Not because you have to, right? But because you want to. And see, when want becomes more important than have to, the quality is there. The experience is better. So, number one is challenges feel overwhelming in the moment, but they pass with time, right? I think that's important, right? Maybe you're saying to me, John, I don't get why this is that way. And I understand, but I want to tell you that you have a choice. Okay? You have a choice. And that choice, guys, is something that a lot of people, well, they don't really recognize it until, let's say, they have to. That's right. I said until they have to. So if you know that something is a certain way and you reflect on it, it can help you grow and learn from that experience. So I remember a time early in my career when a major contract fell through unexpectedly. That was at that moment, it felt like, well, my entire world was just crumbling or crashing down around me. I questioned my choices, my abilities, and even my future. I was so caught up in the immediate loss that it felt as if, well, the hardship would last forever. But slowly, with each passing day, I began to see options I hadn't noticed before: new clients, new opportunities, and new ways to move forward. See, looking back at that experience, I know that it taught me that no matter how heavy or endless a challenge feels, in the moment, it will always pass. The emotions that seem overwhelming fade, and what remains is what you choose to learn from it. Time has a way of providing, well, a kind of perspective and reflection. It helps us see that the storms we thought would break us actually cleared the way for something new and much, much better. Number two, guys, reflection helps us see the lesson hidden in hardship. After one of my early businesses challenges, I was filled with disappointment and self doubt. I could have easily moved on without looking back, but instead I made myself sit down and write about what happened. How could I make this business better? Through journaling, I saw mistakes in my planning, communication gaps, and even small wins that I had overlooked in the chaos. That process didn't erase the pain of the failure that I had started to experience, but it turned it into a positive teaching lesson plan for the future. Without that period of reflecting, I would have repeated the same mistakes and steps over and over again in my next ventures. Reflection helps us uncover what hardship alone can't reveal. It shines a light on the deeper reasons things happen, and as they did, it turns more regret into resolve and confusion into clarity, setting the stage for, well, a much wiser decision ahead. Number three, guys. Resilience strengthens when we look back and recognize how far we've come. I've often revisited my notes and journals I've kept during some of my toughest times. And when I started my first company, when I hit some financial roadblocks, that was, or when I doubted my path, what's powerful about those reflections is that they reminded me of how far I had come. In the moment, I didn't see my own strength. But looking back, I see the persistence, the courage, and the problem solving that carried me through that and will carry me through many other things. This act of looking back builds, well, a kind of resilience because it reinforces the truth. We've conquered before, so we can do it again. And when we celebrate that, we're like, hey, look what I just did. I definitely can achieve this and I can achieve more. Each time I've been tempted to feel overwhelmed by a new challenge, I remind myself of the person who overcame the past ones. Who? Me. That reminder fuels my belief in my ability to face whatever comes at me or gets thrown at me. Every struggle leaves behind wisdom that we can apply to the future of our lives. When I reflect on the struggles I've had, from losing some key people in my life to facing unexpected personnel challenges, I see that each one left behind something, well, pretty precious and valuable. For example, an early business loss taught me to be more discerning in who I trusted as collaborators. That wisdom saved me years, guys, later when I faced similar situations and knew how to handle it. Wisdom from struggle doesn't always announce itself in the moment. It reveals itself when we pause, think, and ask, what was this trying to teach me? Well, the more we reflect, the more those lessons become tools we can use. See, tools that prevent, well, repeat mistakes and prepare us for greater success, kind of like a springboard. Number 5, taking time to reflect turns pain, or what I like to call discomfort many times, into growth. After a major personal disappointment, I felt stuck in my emotions. The pain or discomfort seemed pointless. It just hurt without any meaning. But when I started reflecting, writing about it, and talking it through with some trusted friends, the pain began to subside and transform. I saw areas where, well, I could grow and where I could improve my communication and where I could set better boundaries. See, that process didn't erase the hurt, guys, but it gave it purpose and meaning. Reflection gave me a way to channel my pain into something, well, pretty positive, and into growth that I would carry with me even today. Without reflection, pain can trap us. With it, pain propels us. Let me say that again. Without reflection, pain can trap us. With it, it propels us. Have you ever thought about a situation, be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe what happened? But if you really look back at it and said, not the good or the bad, but like, what did you learn from that? I think that's probably the hardest thing for a lot of people to realize is that when something didn't go the way they want, that there is a nugget in there. There is a positive lesson that can really, well, catapult us to our next success. But again, it's not always comfortable. I always said you have to practice getting uncomfortable. And when you do that, and when you get comfortable being uncomfortable, magic happens. Number 6, challenges shape us, but reflection defines us and how we use that experience. I've faced challenges, just like many people have, that could have made me bitter. Moments where I felt wronged, misunderstood, or let down. At first, I probably felt a little angry, but through some reflection, I chose not to let those moments define me in a negative way. I asked myself, what could I learn from this? What could I take away from this experience to improve and not harden myself? Not an easy thing to do. Reflection gave me the power, guys, to turn the hurt into hope. It allowed me to see the bigger picture, to process my emotions, and to find meaning in the struggle. That's how challenges shape us. They give us raw material, but reflection determines what we build with it. A friend of mine, I should say many years ago, we're not friends anymore, unfortunately, and this person, well, basically had a lot of growing up to do, but I wasn't here to judge. And when he couldn't deal with certain things, he tried to blame me. And in the beginning, I kind of took the bait and I absorbed it. And I was like, wait a minute. It wasn't until years later that I realized I don't need to be a doormat. I don't need to do this. This is that person projecting their own insecurities by pushing them on me. Unfortunately, that friendship didn't last. It lasted for a few years, but then it kind of sizzled out. I felt really bad that that friendship ended. I didn't know what to say. And to this day, I mean, I've gotten closure in the sense that I've, forgiven the person and all that. But deep inside, I guess I wish that we'd be able to sit down for a slice of pizza or a cup of coffee or something and just say, hey, I think that would be, a neat thing. But I realize that that may not happen because that person was probably, well, acting more of their shoe size than their actual age. And as I think about this and I ponder about it, I know this person probably feels really bad. But if they were to come back, not to be friends, but just to, let's say, just kind of like say, I'm sorry, I don't know if they'd know where to start. And I also don't know if they would go back into a tailspin doing what they did again because of their insecurities. And maybe that's the reason why the person stays away. Their insecurities are still there. And they have no desire to fix them. Because as long as certain people aren't in their life, then those insecurities to them don't exist. But that's wrong. I realized that this person, who I thought was great, was just someone that pretty much put people in boxes. What do I mean by that? Well, so he had told me about his story that every 6 months he would flip a job. Not because he had to, but because he wanted to and he wanted to get more pay. I remember him telling me that other interns were working from him. He was an intern at one time, but other interns were working from him. I remember him telling me that he would go to give a presentation. And when he got a presentation from the intern and the presentation was great, the boss would say, gee, that was amazing. You did a great job. And he came back and said, well, of course I did. I did graduate from Fordham at the top of my class. A little bit of a cocky answer. But then I said to him, what would you do if the intern messed up and your boss said, that's a lousy presentation? Where was your head? And he said to me, I would have told him the intern did it. And that's what you get when you don't use somebody who's a professional and has graduated from Fordham at the top of his class. And I was like, you hypocrite, I'm saying to myself. You don't give the kid credit when he does something good, but when he does something bad, you throw him under the bus. So you try to take his good credit. I think that's wrong. Maybe this is why we might have broke away. Maybe because our core values were on different ends. And I didn't know that yet. But the more that I reflect on him, I started to realize that he would do whatever he needed to do to win, even if it would hurt you or me. Now, I don't mean physically hurt, but he'd step on people along the way to get ahead. And I get that you got to be competitive, but it doesn't mean you have to be rude. It doesn't mean you got to put people down. Very interesting, very emotional situation, especially when you build a friendship with someone you trust, and then bam, it's like they're not there anymore. Number 7, temporary difficulties can build lasting inner strength if we choose to learn from them. There was a time when I thought a specific setback, losing a big client, would crush my confidence permanently. But as I reflected, I saw how I'd handled the situation with professionalism, how I'd adapted, and how I'd found new opportunities That reflection showed me that my strength didn't come from avoiding difficulty, guys, but from learning through it. Just like with this friend, I learned that I probably was too vulnerable in the beginning, and I shouldn't have been so trusting. Choosing to learn from difficulties is what turns them into sources of strength. It's not automatic. We have to be intentional about everything we do. And when we reflect, we take ownership of our growth, and that strength stays with us long after the challenge is gone. Number 8, guys. Resilience isn't just about bouncing back like that tennis ball. It's about looking back for purpose. I used to think resilience was just about how fast I could recover from setbacks. But over the years, I've learned that true resilience comes from looking back on challenges with purpose. When I reflect intentionally, I find the meaning in the strength, the lessons I might have missed, the opportunities to improve, that purposeful reflection that I turn to. Looking at those setbacks and turning them into stepping stones. It gives me clarity. It helps me move forward in a smarter, powerful, resilient way, and assures that I'm not just bouncing back. I'm rising to the occasion higher, stronger than ever before. So reflection is what gives resilience its real power. Too many people, though, are afraid to reflect because if they reflect, like, well, wait a minute, I did something wrong. That means I'm not perfect. Yeah, Jack, that's right. You're not perfect. And I'm just using that name, but that wasn't anybody. You're not perfect. I think when we start to understand that we're not perfect and we get humble, this causes us to make connections that we didn't even think were possible. This friend I was talking about that I had was definitely not humble. I remember him telling me something. He said, John, he says, people are a waste of my time unless they're making me money. And I said, well, I guess I'm wasting your time. He said, well, no, you're different. And that's just a horrible thing when people think that other people are a waste of their time. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur. It's always a privilege, pleasure, and honor to be with you guys on the amazing inspirations for your life. Do check out BelieveMeAchieve.com for more of my amazing, inspiring creations. I'll see you real soon. And remember, everyone, it's important to reflect so you can rise to the occasion.